Oh, how's it going, everybody? We're back for another edition of All In, where I'll pick a rock artist, I'll listen to the entire discography, and give my thoughts on it. And the rules go kind of like this. The band in question must have 5 or more original studio albums. Cover albums can count. I generally don't talk about live or acoustic albums unless the song's original to the form. So, here we go. We're going to go something, well, in my mind is modern, but believe it or not, has been around for like 3 decades now. So, we're going to kind of go the punk pop alternative route this week with Green Day. That's right. Very legendary. You can't deny that. Love them or hate them. But first time I heard Green Day, it was definitely off of this album for sure. And I'm thinking it was like they were playing Basket Case on the radio. That was like the breakout track that they had on this album. But I never had any concert experiences seeing them or anything like that, so nothing there. But as a whole, they have 14 original studio albums, ranging from 1990's 39/Smooth, which is really a couple of EPs put into an album, and that's ranging all the way to their album Saviors, which came out last year in 2024. So let's get started here. We're going to talk about 39/Smooth, which, of course, like I said, it's really 2 EPs put together in one album. So some of it was originally released in 89, and then the other half was released in 90, and then they just put it all together. But nothing that stands out to me in this, but you do kind of get that underground punk vibe, at the club. But we start off with At the Library with Wada Se Waska. You have Don't Leave Me, I Was There, Disappearing Boy, the track that's called Green Day, Going to Pascal Calqueca, Calqua, that's weird, 16, Road to Acceptance, Rest, and The Judge's Daughter. Yeah, but all in all, it wasn't too bad. So then we move on to Kerplunk. And again, they weren't really known at this point. So again, you get the underground vibe here. But going over the songs, you have 2,000 Light Years Away, one for the Razorbacks, Welcome to Paradise, which we all know that from Dookie. They redid it for Dookie too. So you have Christie Road, Private Ale, Dominated Love Slave, One of My Lies, 80, Android. They were kind of ahead of time on that track. No One Knows, Who Wrote Holden Caulfield, Words I Might Have Ate. And then, if you get the bonus edition, you have Sweet Children, Best Thing in Town, Stranglehold, and My Generation, which was actually the Sweet Children EP from 1990, the previous year. So then, we have to move on to this legendary album, Dookie, from 1994. And definitely a lot of nostalgia here for me. I didn't have the album personally, but not until like the early 2000s. As you can see, I got sort of the later release with the brown holder. Oh, I lost the paperwork. There we go. But my grade school / middle school buddy had this album, and we were listening to it all the time. So yeah, definitely some nostalgia in that one. So, and like I said, it was the first track I ever heard of Green Day was Basket Case, which came off of this. So we start off with Burnout. We have Having a Blast, Chump, Longview, which is a very popular single, Welcome to Paradise, which was also on the last album, Pulling Teeth. Then you got Basket Case, their breakout song, definitely. You got She, another popular one. Sassafras Roots, When I Come Around, that was another popular one. Coming Clean, M&S Sleep Us, In the End, and then you have FOD, which means Fuck Off and Die. And then the hidden track. Got to talk about the hidden track. Sort of an oddity of all things. It's called All By Myself, Basically it's a track about like talking about like he's all by himself and he's like masturbating or something like that. It's kind of weird, but it's one of those hidden tracks that like the song kind of sucks, but like everybody talks about it. Like even to this day, it's funny. So moving to 1995, the very next year, we get the follow up to that called Insomniac, and here again, a lot of strong tracks in this, just like on Dookie. I didn't have this on physical copy, but my old buddy Derek did. But you got Armitage Shanks, you got Brat, you got Stuck With Me, which was pretty popular. Geek Stink Breath, I love that one. No Pride, Babes Uvula Who, 86. You got Panic Song, Stuart in the Avenue, Brain Stew, and Jaded. They're kind of a two-parter. Love them songs. You got Westbound Sign, Tightwad Hill, and Walking Contradiction. And yeah, that was another good one. Walking Contradiction. It's kind of a heavy song. But yeah, definitely a good follow-up to Dookie, that's for sure. So then we move on to Nimrod. And I would say it's a good follow-up to that one. Definitely sort of continuation. They were still, like alternative / hard rock. You have Nice Guys Finish Last. A lot of truth behind that song. You got Hitchin' a Ride, love that one. The Grouch. Redundant, Scattered, All the Time. Worry Rock. Platypus, I Hate You. Uptight, Let's Ride In. Jinx. Hushinka, Walking Alone, Reject, Take Back, King for a Day. Really popular one, Good Riddance. That's when they started to get real, like a little more into the ballad type of deal. You got Prosthetic Head, and there you go. If you get some bonus tracks, let's see, you get Dissonized, I think that's how you say it. We got Suffocate, Do Da Da, Desensitized Again, and You Lied. And again, not a bad album. I didn't like it as much as the prior two. So then we are into 2000 right now. That was 97 on the last one. We're in 2000 right now with Warning, and I remember at the time of this coming out, I didn't care for it. I feel like they got like a little bit too mellow, a little bit too poppy by this point. And I remember thinking like, man, these guys need to hang it up. I don't like this album at all. So here you got Warning, a very popular song, but again, it got real poppy. Blood, Sex, and Booze, Church on Sunday, Fashion Victim, Castaway, Misery, Deadbeat Holiday, Hold On, Jackass. You got Waiting and Minority, which, again, they were like real poppy. And then we have Macy's Day Parade. And listening to this album today, I did appreciate it a little bit more today than I did back when it came out, but still not top tier in my opinion. But moving on, we have this one, American Idiot. And damn, I feel like they came back in this one, like they bounced back. So, of course, you have the title track, American Idiot. You have Jesus of Siberia, which is like a sort of like a 5-parter here. Holiday, which is real good. You got Boulevard of Broken Dreams, real popular. Are We the Waiting? St. Jimmy. Give Me Novocaine, She's a Rebel. Extraordinary Girl, Letter Bomb. Wake Me Up When September Ends, that's a very popular one. Homecoming, and what's her name? I would have to say my favorite track off of this would probably be Holiday. American Idiot, that's good too, but I remember when like Weird Al parodied it as Canadian Idiot. But yeah, definitely a very political album too. So then, Green Day as a band, they took a break from the studio for like 5 years. So in between, most of the members did a little side project called Foxborough Hot Tubs, which I believe that dropped, was it in 2007 or 8? Okay, yeah, they dropped this in '08. So in this album, you can see they sort of go for like a retro theme here. You know, like with the cover and everything. It looks like sort of like a mini record. You pull this out, and yeah, you pull out the mini record. So I do kind of like how they went for that whole shtick. But I don't ever remember hearing this on regular radio anywhere. But I remember hearing it on like Sirius back when Faction was a thing. You have Stop, Drop, and Roll, Mother Mary, which I've heard on there, Ruby Room, which is the top track off of this, Red Tide, Broadway, She's a Saint, Not a Celebrity. Of course, they say side A, side B. I can't talk. You have Sally, Alligator, The Pedestrian, 27th Avenue Shuffle, Dark Side of the Light, and Pieces of Truth. And yeah, I definitely enjoyed this little side project they did here. It's just a one-off album that they did under Foxborough Hot Tubs. So then, after Green Day's long break, 2009 we get 21st Century Breakdown, and another damn good album. I like it just as much as American Idiot. I like it as much as Dookie, maybe more. But I feel like they really bounced back by the mid to late 2000s here. So here we have Song of the Century, 21st Century Breakdown, which would be the title track, Know Your Enemy, really good track, and I would say that would have been the breakout track to this. You got Viva La Gora, Before the Lobotomy, Christian's Inferno, Last Night on Earth, and we have East Jesus Nowhere, Peacemaker, Less of the American Girls, Murder City, Viva La Gora, Little Girl, Restless Heart Syndrome, Horseshoe and Hand Grenades, The Static Age, 21 Guns, American Eulogy, which is sort of like a two-parter, and See the Light. And yeah, this is a really impressive album. I loved it. I definitely recommend it. So, moving along. So, they did something unique here. So, 2012 rolls around. They do not one, not two, but 3 albums. That's right. So they did sort of like a triple part album, I guess. So in 2012 we have Uno Dos Tres, or Uno Dos Tres, and they released each album like a month apart from each other. So Uno would be like the heavier album. So here we get Nuclear Family, Stay the Night, Carpe Diem, Let Yourself Go, which I would say is like the breakout track to this, Kill the DJ, Fail for You, Lost Control, Troublemaker, Angel Blue, Sweet 16, Rusty James, and Oh Love, which would be the popular track off of this. And I definitely did enjoy that album. Then you have Dose, Part 2, of course. And here we got See You Tonight, Fuck Time, Stop When the Red Light Flash, Lazy Bones, Wild One, Make Out Party, Stay Heart, Ashley, Baby Eyes, Lady Cobra, Nightlife, Wow That's Loud, and Amy. And I feel like that's actually the that's got to be like the horny album, I guess. And then moving along, we have the third part to it, Trey. So we have Brutal Love, Missing You, 8th Avenue Serenade, Drama Queen, Ex-Kid, Sex, Drugs, and Violence, Little Boy Named Train, Amanda, Walk Away, Dirty Rotten Bastards, 99 Revolutions, and The Forgotten. And I know for like the Dose and Trey albums, like people were just bashing those albums. I didn't know what to expect when I listened to them. I thought they were going to suck, but I didn't. They weren't my favorite, but I did enjoy them, actually, surprisingly. I think what they should have done is maybe what they should have done is maybe condense that into like 2 parts instead of 3, sort of trim the fat a little bit, and they'd have a good double album there at least. But not many bands do like 3-part albums. That's pretty cool in its own. So then we move on to 2016. You have Revolution Radio. And here we have Somewhere Now, Bang Bang, which is pretty good. Revolution Radio title track. Then we have Say Goodbye, Outlaws, Bouncing Off the Wall, Still Breathing, Young Blood, Too Dumb to Die, Troubled Times, Forever Now, which is a 3-part deal, Ordinary World. So yeah. Yeah, I like Bang Bang. That's my favorite song off this track, or off this album. So then, moving along, we're into the 2020s now. We have Father of All Motherfuckers. Yeah, that's a hell of a way to name the album. Of course, on the cover, they actually do edit the word fuckers off of it. Very short album, 26 minutes, almost EP length, really. But they kept it short and sweet on this one. So you have Father of All, Fire Ready Aim, Oh Yeah, Meet Me on the Roof, I Was a Teenager, Stab You in the Heart, Sugar Youth, Junkies on a High, Take the Money and Crawl, and Graffita. And I really didn't care for this one, honestly. Not their best work. So, moving along to just last year, we get the album Saviors from 2024. So, here we are, 30 years after Duke came out, and they're still releasing some good material. So, here we have The American Dream is Killing Me. Real good track. I love it. I almost get like, dare I say it, a little bit of a Warning vibe off of that track. You got Look Ma, No Brains. You sort of get a little bit of an American Idiot vibe from that one. Then you got Bobby Sox, One-Eyed Bastard, Dilemma, 1981, Goodnight, Adeline, Coma City, Corvette Summer, Susie Chapstick, Strange Days Are Here to Stay, Living in the 20s, Father to a Son, Saviors, Fancy Sauce, and if you get the bonus track edition, you get Fever. Then if you go deluxe, you got Smash It Like Belushi, Stay Young, Fuck Off, and Bolly Ho, and Underdog. And as far as like a later Green Day, probably their best album they did, in I would say since the 2010s. So ratings, how do we want to rate all the Green Day albums? Let's see here. So we definitely have to do the 90s era. We're going to do the 2000s. And I guess we'll do 2010s to now. So 90s Green Day, we have 5 albums if you include the 39/Smooth EPs that were put together. You know, just from, I would say more of a nostalgic standpoint and a commercial success, I would say Dookie tops it. As far as my least favorite, I would say my least favorite there was 39/Smooth. You know, nothing real memorable, but I mean, I can't hate on it because they were first getting started. Now, as far as the 2000s Green Day, my least favorite by far was Warning. And my favorite, it's almost a toss-up between American Idiot and 21st Century Breakdown. I liked both of those albums almost equally. Okay, so moving on to the 2010s to now, I'm going to say Saviors, their latest one. And as far as my least favorite, Father of All Motherfuckers. So, I hope you enjoyed this edition of All In featuring Green Day. And Next video, we're sort of moving into what started off in the nu metal era, and the band in question had 4 different lead singers throughout its life, so find out who it is next.